Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the live video where I answered the questions from the Patreon group. So how this works is the members of the Patreon group, they come and they ask questions on the group, and then we read them and answer them on these YouTube lives. So it's a lot of fun. The link is in the bottom of every single one of my videos for the Patreon group. Definitely sign up for it if you would like to ask questions. Now, again, just to remind everybody that I give general law of attraction answers, and we ask general law of attraction questions. This isn't any coaching or giving personal advice for your situation, because as you know, your thoughts create your reality, and we need to sit down and chat with you to find out what your blocks are, or what, action plan or advice, for your personal situation. Okay. So yeah, if you are interested in coaching, we're still running our promotion, and we actually have 30-minute sessions available, which are reasonably priced because we want everybody to create something wonderful in their life. And my coaches are great. Like, such amazing things. Like, they know what they're doing. I've trained them. So let's get started. Hello, everybody. Howdy, love it. It's a cowboy day. Thank you guys so much for being here. So let's take a look. Where is the page that I'm going to be reading the questions off of? Here's the big question of the day. Okay, so we've got Heather's question first. Let's take a look here. So at 1 minute and 47 seconds. I also write the time that I answer the questions. That way you guys can see it. You can fast forward to it too. Let's take a look. Okay, so at 1 minute 47 seconds. Hold on, I'm going to copy that part. So here's Heather's question. Hi, Amanda. This is Heather. Hi, Heather. I am getting really good at this, and I love it. I know, right? It's amazing when you really get in the groove of creating. It's brutal. It's something else. I thank you for this and your coaches. I know they're amazing. One of my questions is, does it help matter speed up manifestations if we focus on one at a time? Okay, this is a really good question. Well, it really depends. So I like to get clear on one thing at a time. Okay, so, what I like to do is, if I'm working on creating, like I did actually manifest, my business and my YouTube channel at the same time I was manifesting Andrew. But I sat down and I got clear on what I wanted with him first, and I sort of got through it. But at the same time, I was working on my business as well and getting clear on what I wanted there. So, we can't focus, on more than one thing at a time. But, what I do right throughout the day is, once I get clear on everything, if I think about Andrew, I'm like, oh yeah, he absolutely thinks so amazing, right? Then, I think about my business. I'm like, yeah, everyone gets results. And, this is a great community, And then I think about my family. I'm like, oh yeah, they're all safe and healthy. So, I get clear on what I want in every area of my life. And as I go throughout my day, I just make sure that, every thought that I have is a positive thought on them. So I basically do like many mental diets congruently, throughout the day. But I only take, I take time to get clear on them one at a time. Some people do find it easier just to work on one thing at a time and say, like, I'll be honest, right? Like, for last year when I was working on, some other things in my life, I totally did not think about my health and did not actually work on it, which became a problem near the end of the year, mid to the end of the year, which then I had to actually focus on it and, finally got that sorted out, earlier this year, actually, before all this other stuff happened. So, with whatever else is going on in the world. But, so it's up to you. You can do everything at once, or you can pick one at a time. But what I do now, like I said, is I just, I choose one area, get clear on it, but then at the same time, I work on everything all day, every day, whenever it just comes up, right? And so I intend to have a list of maybe up to 5 things. Some areas are interwoven. Well, exactly. I seem to find that I manifest either way on the easier things, but on these same bigger things, they are slow going. Well, that's again a belief, there's not any harder to manifest a person than it is a cup of coffee, or $1 billion, or winning the lottery as it is a cup of coffee. It's all depending on how we choose to look at it. If we think the bigger things, a lot of times we have the bigger things on a pedestal and we think that they're just so huge to us. So how we take things off of a pedestal is we say, no, we're good enough to have it. We're good enough to have it right now. We deserve to have this. We are going to have it. Okay. So you want to take those bigger things off of a pedestal. Okay. So, would it be wise to choose one thing and really work on it? So again, that's completely up to you. And, so you're working on overturning a court decision on money, you're working on losing weight, um, and then you're working on a relationship. So often I'm focusing and writing and visualizing on a few things at a time throughout the day. That's what I do. Okay. So is the answer going to be if I decide I can manifest 10 things at a time, I can, right? Yeah. Yeah. If you decide it, you can. That's exactly the answer that I'm going to give. It's up to you. You're the creator of your reality, but don't make things bigger than what they are because they don't have to be, right? They definitely don't have to be. Let's take a look. Okay, so 6 minutes in, we've got Lily's question. So 6 minutes. I don't know about where you guys are, but we've been having the best weather in Vancouver this week. It's been crazy. Yesterday, like this weekend, was so hot. Actually, I don't know if you could tell, I got a little bit of a tan. It was great being outside in the yard. It's awesome. Hey, Lily says, "Hey, Amanda, I just want to thank you so much for doing these videos. You've helped me so much." Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, I mean, I figured out how to do this, so I really wanted to bring it to the world and share it with people because, on my journey and when I was looking and trying to figure out law of attraction, I didn't quite, I never quite got it. And then when I finally did get it, nobody ever said to me, "Man, you gotta watch your thoughts." But I was like, wow, is it that really that simple? And I'm like, maybe it is simple, but not sometimes easy. But then again, that's a belief I create, right? No, it is easy and it is simple if you create that belief, but it is simple, right? And it's as hard as you choose to make it, right? And so I've been making some progress with my specific person. And I recently found out later this year, I'll be moving to their city. Excellent. I've been intending that they'll initiate something so that once I move, we can see each other a lot more often. But they haven't said anything about it yet. I'm not worried about any blocks I might have. But do you have any tips on the process of letting go in this type of scenario? I've heard from other people that with letting go, I should just say, I don't care if I get what I want or not. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. But for some reason, that just doesn't feel right because it isn't. It's not right because look at saying, look, I don't care if I get it. I mean, basically, if your dominant, reality is that you don't have it, the universe is gonna be like, no problem. It's like we're just gonna abort that mission, no problem there. So, what is letting go and what is detaching? Okay, so I'm gonna take a quick here. So letting go is letting go of the negative story. It's letting go of the I'm not good enough. It's letting go of the I don't deserve this. It's the letting go of the questioning if the person likes you. It's the letting go of everything that's not serving you. Okay. Now you have to be persistent and assume what you're going to get. Okay. You have to. Everyone does. Okay. Because that's how this works. What you focus on, you get. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to detach from it. Now, detaching from it is basically going, look at, you know what, my life is great right now. However, so and so wanting to be with me is going to enhance my life, and I'm good enough to have that. So detaching is basically taking it off of a pedestal and, saying, look at, I love my life right now. I've got so many wonderful things in my life. But you know what? Joe down the block, he's going to enhance it. So he is going to come into my life because I'm good enough to have that in my life. I'm good enough to have the relationship that I want. But you know what? I love who I am right now, and I love what's going on right now in my life. But I'm going to get $1 billion because I'm good enough for that. Because it's going to enhance my life. But I love it the way it is now. However, that's what I want. So that's what letting go and detaching is, and that's what you want to do here, as well as put more on it. Okay, now I understand how it says, like when I say put more on it, I mean more intentions. Like just throw everything you can on there, okay, from every single angle. Now, so what we are, looking for here. Sorry, guys. Oh, we have so many success stories here. Like you guys love our coaches. I'm sorry, somebody just messaged me and they were just like, "Yes, it's amazing." So just have to look at it. So I'm gonna say, you guys, like, thank you guys so much. And so anyway, so let's go back to this. Okay, so basically what I know it looks like, okay, so for instance, the example is okay, cup of coffee, right? Like I think, oh, you know what, I want a cup of coffee. Like I don't even think twice about it. Okay, I think it once and then boom, cup of coffee shows up. And it looks like what I need to do is to make the intention and then completely forget about it. But that's not true. It's only that I made that one intention from a neutral, natural place, and I never had any other thought about it, including a contrary thought. Okay. So it's basically like this. It's like ordering, a pizza. It's like you phone up and you're like, yeah, I'd like a pepperoni pizza. And then, if you can hang up and leave it at that, the pizza's going to come because you're like, yeah, no, the pizza's going to come and all good. But as soon as you like go, well, no, I want ham and pineapple. All of a sudden they're like, well, wait, you want ham and pineapple? So it makes the ham and pineapple. So that's why you always need to end your thoughts on a positive thought. And that's why when there's things like with resistance and things that are important to us, like money, relationships, we can't just have one thought and drop it, okay? Because we have more, this person's on our mind 24/7. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're herd animals. We love to be around people. We want people to be with us. We want to be in a relationship. Relationship is the single most important thing to a person. It's so important for us, the way we feel, for like everything, our mental health, so when it's something that's important to you, yeah, you are going to have more than one thought about it, and you're not going to be able to just have one thought and then forget it. I mean, when it comes to planning your wedding, it's not just like, okay, look, I'm going to have my wedding, it's going to be perfect. No, you plan it for weeks, for months, because you're putting your energy into creating what you want it to be. Okay. So yeah, you can think about the cup of coffee all day and you'll still get it, but you can also just think of it once and it'll still come. But when it comes to relationships, if you can't just think about your specific person once and let it go, but that's not even how it works. You put your persistent assumption into it because you're going to have other thoughts, other questions. They're going to be on their mind constantly. That's good. That's not going to block it. That's only going to make your manifestation come quicker and stronger. Okay. The more thought and power you put towards it, the faster and quicker it's going to come. Okay. Especially if that's what you're saying. No, it's going to happen now. It's going to happen. Okay. So letting go isn't just, saying I don't care and thinking about it once and trying to never think of it again. But letting go is letting go of all the negative story that in all the questioning and all the what ifs. Okay. But what you really want to do is detach by not resisting your current reality. Okay. And then when you're not resisting your current reality and you're saying, look, I love my life, but Gerry's going to enhance it, throw more intentions on. Okay. Next question. Let's take a look here. So, um, at 12 minutes and 55 seconds, let's see here. 12 minutes and 55 seconds. 12 minutes, 55 seconds. Yeah, I've done this, manifested relationship, sometimes I would say it was a struggle. I don't know if you guys see my earlier videos on my channel from, I would say, not last December, but the December prior. So like a year and a bit ago, like, yeah, you know, I've shared my struggle. It was real. But you know what? It all paid off in the end. The hard work was so worth it. And my relationship just keeps getting better and better. The more, I still tell myself every day, that Andrew wants to be with me and that he loves being with me and he loves being in a relationship. And every day it gets stronger and stronger and you see that more and more. And it's just amazing what we can create with another person when we realize that we actually create and we let down our barriers and we no longer are scared of rejection because we realize that we're the only ones that can create somebody to reject us. So once we say, well, look at rejection doesn't even exist. And look at, I'm just going to show up and be in this relationship and I'm going to intend that this person acts like that and be's like that. And they do. It's the most magical thing in the world. Many of you guys probably know that me and Andrew have a vlog channel of our life behind the scenes. It's actually called Gerry's Adventures, and the link is in the bottom of every one of our videos, of my videos on this channel. Anyways, and you can see our relationship. It's we get along. There's this one video where he's driving and like I'm telling him to go right, and I'm actually getting quite upset at him. It turns out it was the wrong way. And it was like, well, no denying, I was all worked up about it because everybody on the video saw it. I left it in the video. It was actually quite funny, and how he just puts up with me. Anyway, guys, check it out if you want to see. I mean, and you can see as our videos go, how much closer we grow together because we've been posting on there for quite some time. Anyways, we got XO's question. Hey, Amanda, I've been getting little to no progress in my manifestation with my specific person. What's your best advice when there's no movement in your manifestation? Okay. And although sometimes my brain goes on autopilot mode, I forget to say affirmations visualized throughout the day. Is it okay to go a whole day without saying affirmations? Okay, I'm going to explain how creating works, and then hopefully this is going to help you to be able to find out where we sort of need to go if things aren't working for you. So, how creation works, okay, is it's like this. Here's a really good example is, and I've used this example before, is if I tell Gerry, okay, to stand on his head, okay, and Gerry shows up for this video. Gerry starts standing on his head. Gerry is going to, now when that's actually manifested, meaning programmed into my subconscious mind. So how it starts is I say, I intend for Gerry to stand on his head. Gerry's always standing on his head. He's goofy like that. He's like not right in the head, that little teddy bear. He constantly stands on his head. So then all of a sudden that goes and gets programmed into my subconscious mind, and then Gerry stands on his head. Now, Gerry is going to continually to stand on his head until I acknowledge and then renounce it and change it. Okay. So as long as I'm not doing affirmations, my reality will stay the way it is. Okay. Now, if I want to change my current reality, I need to start saying affirmations or intentions or changing just thoughts, just in general thoughts, like, start creating the story that Gerry always sits on his butt. Okay. So is saying affirmations, throughout the day, is it okay that the way that they are in that moment, right? Because see, the beautiful thing that happens is we create, and when things get programmed in and manifested into our reality and they get programmed into our subconscious mind, they stay the way they are. And that actually serves us, because when things are going good, you don't need to wake up every morning and say how amazing your life is. You just have it programmed in. So boom, you wake up and you're like, oh, it's awesome to be me, right? Like, I had a great relationship. My house is beautiful, right? But if things aren't going your way, then guess what? You wake up and it stays the same until you start putting conscious thought and effort into actually changing it and basically recreating it, right? So, so that's the downfall, right? But I mean, if our brains and our subconscious mind didn't actually just play what was programmed in there automatically every day, every morning you would have to wake up, you'd have to like basically intend your house and your computer and whatever else, your job. You wouldn't know who you were, so you'd have to re-intend that guy sitting there in your house, who's that? You'd have to recreate who they are. So it works in our benefit when things are working out for you, but when things aren't working out for you, then they need to have conscious thought put to them to shift them and to change them. Okay. So if you're not getting any progress in the areas that you want to manifest, you want to start taking a look for blocks. Okay. So what I do is I get clear on what I want. Okay. So if there's nothing going on and I'm feeling frustrated, the first thing I do is I'm like, look at Amanda. I'm like, your thoughts create. Okay. Everyone is you pushed out. And then I start to actually create little tiny things in my life just to remind myself, and it's sometimes those little tiny things that really don't make that big of a deal that show up that you're like, oh my goodness, like, here we go. Right. Like, right. But then what I do is I get clear on what I'm creating. So if it's a specific person, I'm going to write down and be like, okay, I'm clear. This is what I want. And then I'm going to write down all of my, fears, complaints and everything. And I'm going to dump them out and I'm going to start changing them into positive intentions. Okay. So there's two ways that you can see where your blocks are. You can see with what's reflecting back at you in your 3D reality, or we can listen to our thoughts. Okay. So you're probably not getting any progress because we're not actually, staying on our affirmations and things are just staying the same that they've been before. Now I'm going to answer This other question later on, because I've read it, somebody asked it and I'm really excited about it. It's like, how long do our intentions stay at play in another person? Okay, so stay tuned for later on in the video for that. Basically, when we say intentions to people, they'll shift and sometimes they'll revert back to the way that they were. Okay, but after a while, they'll eventually stick in the new state that you intend them to be in. Okay, so sometimes there will be a little bit of, okay, I intended Gerry to be nice, so he's nice, but then all of a sudden he goes back to being, whatever, crotchety or whatever. And then all of a sudden I intended again for him to be nice. Then he goes back to being not so nice, but then I intended again, but then he stays nice. So there is a little bit of a transition period as you're shifting the whole entire story that people may revert back to the old state. And then at some point they will actually stick to the new state. And that's where the persistent assumption is needed. And we'll actually get into that in another question later on that I saw somebody ask, which will actually yank out the Neville book to answer. Okay. Amanda, you take this way too seriously. Anyway, okay, so 20 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's take a look here. So 20 minutes and 40 seconds. We have Casey's question. Hey, Amanda, is intending that you and your specific person get back together living from the end? Yes, yes. Or should it be more along the lines of already being in a relationship? Okay, so you're welcome. And I love you too, girl. You're awesome. So, living from the end, it's not so much the wording, okay? It's more of what we're focusing on. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between yesterday, today, tomorrow. It just knows this moment presently. All it does is create images, and the images are conjured from the words or the thoughts that we have. So when I say, well, you know what, we're going to be living together, I still picture us living together. And if I say we are living together, I still picture us living together. Say what's more comfortable to you. It's better to say either one of those than it is to say, he never wants to talk to me again, right? Okay, so it's about, taking a look and, if you're, either one of those are good. Living from the end, okay, is if I was already with my person, what would we be doing? What would we be saying? Like, how would everything go? So, intending a text message, that is living from the end. If you can say to yourself, would I be text messaging this person if we were living together? Pardon me, and in a committed relationship? If the answer is going to be yes, then that intention and action is from the end. Okay. Question, would we be fighting and not talking? No. Okay. Throw that thought out. What would you be if you guys were in the relationship that you wanted? We'd be getting along and having a great time together. Great. Make that intention. Okay. So that's how you judge if something is living from the end or living from, the end of rejection, right? So yeah, either way, as long as what your statement that you say creates, in your mind, a picture, a feeling, a visualization of, being together. But remember, your subconscious mind, it doesn't know any sense of time. Okay. So, and it just, creates pictures. So as long as your statement's going to create a picture, then you're good. To be honest, already, being in a relationship is probably more powerful as far as, the image. But if it gives you resistance going, well, yeah, right, that's not happening, then saying, well, we're going to be living together, that's going to be still the same. I remember saying that I was going to be living with Andrew and it happened. So it didn't block it. It's not so much how you say what you want. It's about eliminating the thoughts of what you don't want, because those are the ones that really block it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Some water. Thirsty today, guys. Thirsty today. So let's take a look. So 24 minutes. So 24 minutes, and we have Monica's question. 24 minutes. All right. Monica's question is, hi, Amanda. How can I manifest receiving $1,000 or more daily through my business services quickly? And what are some co-creative beliefs to help this happen? Okay. So, it really depends on where your block is, right? That's really where it depends. Now, that's where we, first of all, it's, you want to say, look, I intend to receive, $1,000 daily through my business, or however much you want to get, right? Like I intend to make, $3,000 a month through my business, right? after tax or whatever, right? And then you want to take a look, like, what's your block there? That's the question. I mean, by basically saying, look, no, you know what? We get more than $5,000 a day profit through the business. Okay. Now that's enough to actually create that. If saying that isn't creating that, then the question is where's the block? Where's the story that's blocking that statement? Okay. So there is some story that isn't supporting that statement. Okay. So you want to take a look. So some things to look at are abundance. Is it abundance? Abundance. What about right now, like with everything that's going on in the world, right? Are you thinking, that people don't have any money and they're not going to buy your service right now? Like, what is the story, right? You want to take that story and you want to make that story support what your monthly goal and income is. I mean, I know as a business owner, like, I'm, probably the biggest block in my company sometimes, like for instance, when things aren't automated and you've got to do things manually, right? Like say for instance, okay, you've got like a merchandise store, you sell like razors. If you actually have to like box and label and ship every single box, I mean, that may be a lot of boxes to make $1,000. Like how much work are you having and time are you having to put into making that money daily? Is it something that's automated that people just come and buy and on their own and go away and like do their own thing and you're not involved in? Or are you providing the service to make $1,000? If you are, do you have enough hours in a day to actually do that? So there's so many things that need to be looked at. But I mean, the one biggest piece of advice I would give is abundance, and also, taking yourself out of the process, like making sure you're not the one stuffing and looking the envelopes, okay? Because, on days when you don't feel like working, then, and you're the only one that's going to be putting the effort in to make that $1,000, then, that's going to block it as well. So what you're looking for is blocks in your story that are blocking that money from coming through, okay? So 27 minutes. Yes, I will do it, Manali. Yes, yes, yes. I figured I saw the notification on my cell phone. I was like, that's Manali. You're so welcome. I'll actually do that right now. So just give me one sec here, guys. I'm going to refresh the page so we can get all the questions in. Yeah. Okay. So where did it go? Where's my questions? There they are. Found them. Okay. So where did we go here? Oh, a couple people got in their questions at the last minute here, so that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so what other okay, let me just get all these questions up here. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're on Aaliyah's question, and we're at 28 minutes. 28 minutes. Oh, the time flies when we're doing this, guys. Like, really. Hi, Amanda. First off, I want to thank you and your coaches because I've learned so much and changed my world drastically in the last 6 months with my mental diet and creating intentions, even when I did not believe in the intentions at the time. You are so welcome. And you know what? You nailed it. No, you don't need to believe in your intentions. You just need to believe that your thoughts create, and, and just, it's called believing in yourself, believe in your power, right? Go for that crazy stuff. I've created intentions that I thought would never be possible. Not that I didn't believe that I could create them. I believe that my thoughts create, but I just went out and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say that this is going to happen. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, wow, it really did. So have fun with it, right? So your question, and you're so welcome, but I'm so happy that your life has drastically changed for the better. Like, that's amazing. My specific person is helping me realize that I have been accepting crumbs, not just from him, but others in my life. When I ask them for help, feeling like I have to plead or barter or promise things, as opposed to telling myself that everyone loves and wants to show up for me when I need them to. You nailed it right there, especially since I easily do the same for others. So I started a mental diet on the subject today. How do we practice changing this type of story? Well, you nailed it, is you just start telling yourself that new story. I mean, I know that there's some talk. Let's actually go into some talk about self-love. I know there's some talk that I don't believe in self-love, but that's not entirely true. I don't believe in self-love in the way that, I have to love myself to gain something. Okay. That's what I don't believe in, because I've never once sat in a corner and said, you know what, I love myself. No, I haven't said that. I've never actually done that, but I've always been very confident. Okay. So what I do believe that we need to practice is confidence, but self-love is everything. Okay, guys, you guys are God and you're the God of your reality and God is love. Okay. So regardless is you are love. Okay. So you know what? Saying I intend for Gerry to want to be with me is practicing self-love. It's a very self-loving statement. Okay. So self-love goes beyond just saying I love me. It goes on to be, no, everybody wants to be with me, right? Because you're creating what you want to create in your life. Okay. So you basically want to change your story. I mean, your opinion of others is they're just not there for you. So you want to change that story to look at, I'm good enough to have people be there for me. Everybody's always there for me. Everybody always wants to help me. In fact, when they help me, it's mutually beneficial because they feel good, right? So you want to start creating that story, go through all the reasons why you think people don't want to help you, right? I mean, normally, right, where it comes down to is it's going to be more of the story of the other person than yourself, but sometimes it is about yourself. So like core beliefs, like, that I would probably look at is, being like, I'm always disappointed. I would change that to I'm always satisfied. Those are core ones about, yourself. But normally it's about other people. Is it just the certain people that you think don't want to be there for you because they're selfish or something like that? So then you're going to change the story about them as well. So take a look and write down all your beliefs about you and all your beliefs about these other people that aren't there for you. Okay. And then build your mental diet from changing both of those, right? And how you practice changing that story is just daily, every time it comes up, every morning, repeat it. When you open your eyes, you say, okay, you know what? Everyone's me pushed out. Today is the day that people support. Today is the day that people go out of their way to make sure that I'm having a good day. And they do it because it makes them feel good, because everyone is you pushed out, right? So yeah, you start working away at it. Definitely. Okay. Yeah. I know. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any trolls on here? I will delete them if I see them. Like 100%, maybe what, in the future I'll get somebody to help monitor the chat. In the meantime, I intend that the trolls get bored with this and they go do something else. So, yeah. So it's not that exciting for them anyway. Kill them with love. They're just misunderstanding, I guess, So let's go with 33 minutes. 33 minutes. 33 minutes. Okay. So 33 minutes, we have Christine's question. So Christine, hi Amanda, I'm having so much so much success with my specific person due to Denise's and your coaching. Denise is amazing. Like seriously, guys, Denise is something else. Yeah, she's really, really good. My question is, I still seem to be making my manifestation with my SP dependent on success on other things changing, like they are dependent on each other. This tends to look like thoughts of overanalyzing that something else needs to change first to receive it. It feels like there's always a how that needs to be fixed to get my end goal. So I'm obviously noticing I'd like to change things. I'd like to change, which okay, sorry. It feels like there's always a how that needs to be fixed to get my end goal. So I'm obviously noticing things I'd like to change, and that will make things great with my SP. But how do I keep them separate manifestations and not an obstacle with my SP? Okay. So, for example, wanting kids' custody arrangements or my SP feeling confident, etc. So I seem to overanalyze steps as I want as things I need to fix on the way on my end. How do I change that mindset? Okay, so one thing that I do is I say, look, you know what, everything is perfect right now in order for me to manifest this, okay? When I catch myself saying, oh, but I need to do this first. No, everything's perfect the way it is, and it's gonna happen now, and we're gonna do it together. Now, the other thing in language that actually makes things dependent on things, and this is very important, guys, is the word but. Okay. Now, if I say, look, I want to go on vacation, but I have no time. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, that but said, look, I need to free up time in order to go on vacation. That's going to be a problem because now I've made time my time allotment dependent on the vacation. But I say, I would like to go on vacation and I have no time. Okay, that's totally different. Me not having time now has nothing to do with vacation. They're two separate things. Okay, so let's stop using but in our language. But and shouldn't are two words that could definitely be used without. Shouldn't, the word should is actually, the definition is obligated to. Well, I'll tell you, none of you guys are obligated to do anything in your life. There's nothing that you should do. Never, never, never. Actually, it's funny. I was in this course years ago, Landmark Worldwide, and they would say, "Oh, are you shooting on yourself? Shoulding on yourself again?" It's like, yeah. So, definitely avoid the word should. You're not obligated to do anything. Anything that you want to do is a choice. But to say, look at, I want to get with him, but you know what? I should lose 5 pounds. Now you've just made losing 5 pounds have something that has to be done before you're going to get in that relationship, right? So it's like, well, you know what? I want to be in a relationship and I want to lose 5 pounds, instead of saying, I want to really be in a relationship, but I've got to lose 5 pounds. No. You say to yourself right now, look, I can have everything I want right now at this moment in time. My life is perfect for so-and-so to come into my life. Anything that needs to change, we can do together. Okay. So it's just a matter of catching your thought processes when you're going down those sort of thought processes. Sorry, guys, thirsty. But I'll tell you, this ice water is so good. I drink a lot of water. People that know me know that. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Okay, so 36 minutes. 36 minutes. We have, Laine, I think that's how I say it. You're new. Welcome. We appreciate you being here. Hi, Amanda. Is it possible to script for somebody else, like a third party? Absolutely. Everybody in your reality is you. Like, they're all parts of you. They're all a projection of your mind. So yes, you can. Or intend that the third party will move on and find love with someone else. Absolutely, you can do that. I created a third party. So can I also create a third party to find a better life? Yes. But when everyone is you pushed out and the third party is me, am I creating that I myself will move on instead of intending to get back with my ex? Okay, so no, that's okay. They're not you as in they're you. Okay. They're you as in they are animated by your subconscious mind. They're a projection of your mind. Okay. But they're still very much their own separate person. So basically, they are, and this is an example I use just for ease of explanation, is they are like a teddy bear that you animate them. Okay. Now, of course, you've got your regular assumptions, that he gets up every day, goes to work. Maybe he works from home now, whatever. And, he's got his own life and, eats dinner and, breakfast and all that, goes grocery shopping, drives a car, whatever the case may be, goes to Mexico once in a while, gets a sombrero. Okay. Right. Like, but as far as, you can create for him in his reality because he's you pushed out, meaning he's a projection of your subconscious mind in your reality, but still very much a separate person from you. So 2 parts, guys, to manifesting, with a third party is, first of all, you can intend whenever you think of the third party with them that, third party, they don't want to be together anymore and they're going to move on. Now, the second part that you've got to do is now you've created that obviously this person wants this third party more than you. That's why that third party is even there. So then you've got to change the story about your SP, your specific person, saying, no, they want to be with me. They'll pick me over everybody else in the world, and they'll go, they'll do anything to be with me. And in fact, you know what? They've already broken up because my specific person wants to be with me. And then, of course, you want to take your specific person off of a pedestal by saying, because I'm good enough, because I deserve this. Okay. So those are the 3 parts that you're going to go with. So, I'm going to just dive into this now because it's answered in another question below. Let me just find the question as well, and I'll mark the time on hers. Is we're going to talk a little bit about everyone as you pushed out. So where is it here? Okay, so it's going to go in with this question as well. So I've got this 25. She asked, oh, greetings from Southern California. Jealous. So warm there. Love California. Love Arizona. Love Florida. Totally going to drive down to California as soon as everything's good. And that's going to be soon. I hope you're doing well on this 8th million day of quarantine. I am. I love playing Red Dead Redemption. It's great. My question for this week is, how long is a person affected by one's intentions? I've heard in cases of remote seduction that some people still see the effects on their target long after they stop doing remote seduction on them. What are your thoughts on that? Does that mean an SP can or have will have feelings for someone even if the person's move on, or is it just when just a situation where one's attention has been focused on them? You're welcome. She says, thank you for these question and answers. You're welcome. I look forward to them because they're so lighthearted and informative. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, I really do. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to put in here because I'm answering these two questions at the same time. So we're going to talk about how long your intentions stick to a person, as well as everyone as you pushed out, because these two questions go together. Okay. So how this works, okay, as far as everyone as you pushed out goes, is, let me just find it here. This is, this is, um, so basically it's the transmission of thought, okay? So the transmission of thought is basically, is everyone as you pushed out. Okay, so this is how everyone as you pushed out works. Okay, so everyone as you pushed out means that your thoughts transmit. Okay, and it's only your thoughts transmitting out to other people. Okay, so basically your consciousness, okay, so the little voice in your mind, okay, is the light reflected on the mirror of your mind and projected into space to the one who you think of. Okay. So when I think, ooh, I intend for Gerry to take out the garbage, it vibrates when it manifests and it's programmed into my subconscious mind. It'll vibrate on my subconscious mind and it'll reflect out to Gerry. Okay. So that's where vibrations come from. Now it'll hit Gerry's subconscious mind. Okay. So my vibrating mind modifies the light of consciousness, the light being my thoughts. Okay. Reflected on it. The modified light of consciousness reaches the one towards whom it is directed, Gerry, and it pings on the mirror of his mind. Okay. It causes his mind to vibrate according to the modification it undergoes. Thus, it reproduces in him what was mentally affirmed by me. Okay. So I think, okay, I intend for Gerry to take the garbage out. He's going to take the garbage out. He loves taking it. He loves that. He loves going outside, seeing the neighbor's dog. All of a sudden, that vibrates in the back of my mind, okay, because it's manifested, it's programmed in, it vibrates over, it hits Gerry's brain, okay, it vibrates the back of his mind, and then he gets this thought, maybe I should go take the garbage out. I like to go see the neighbor's dog. Yeah, I'm going to do that. He gets off the couch, he goes to do it, he thinks it's his idea. Okay, so that's what everyone as you pushed out is, okay? It's thought transmission, and that's where vibrations come from, the term vibrating. So you vibrate at the same level as something you want with your thoughts, okay? So, pardon me, when your thoughts are in line with something you want, you're vibrating at that level. So your beliefs, your fixed attitudes of mind, constantly modify your consciousness as it's reflected on the mirror of your mind. Your consciousness, modified by your beliefs, okay, objectifies itself in the conditions of your world. Okay, so that's what it means is, look at your thoughts with your beliefs, is boom, your outer world. Okay, your thoughts create. Now, to change somebody, you must first change your conception of them. You must first believe that person to be who you want them to be and act the way you want them to act, and mentally talk to them as if they were already that person. Okay, so if you want, say Gerry to be, a very, as let's say he's a cheater, right? And he cheats, right? And you want him to be a faithful teddy bear, faithful to you in a relationship. You don't want to have that fight in the head, like, oh, I did that. The conversation, those little inner conversations. You don't want it to be a fight, because you want the inner conversation to be, Gerry, you're such a loyal boyfriend. You're great. So you want to have the inner conversation in line with the person that you want him to be, because that inner conversation is creating who he actually shows up to be. That's where intentions come in. Now, here is coming up now is where we're going to talk about how long this actually stays. Okay, so basically, your world. Therefore, if your world is not reproduced visibly in him towards whom it is sent, the cause is to be found within you, not the subject. Okay. So that means, look, if Gerry's not acting the way that you want, it's not Gerry, it's you. That's me. Like, okay. Full responsibility. Okay. So as soon as you believe in the truth of the state affirmed, the results will follow. Okay. So everybody can be transformed. Every thought can be transmitted. Every thought can be visibly embodied. Okay. The only time somebody can reject your thought is if you think they're going to reject it. Okay. If you're like, oh, I intend for Gerry to be, faithful, that'll never happen. I mean, you're creating it. People in your reality have zero free will. They only have zero free will if you create that they have free will. But then again, they don't have free will. You're creating they have free will. You still had to create that. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. So whatever state your attention holds in your life, therefore, so whatever state has your attention holds your life. Okay. Therefore, to become attentive to a former state is to return to that condition. Okay. So basically, what happens is when we actually, so here, this is when it talks about how long intentions stick to people. So the words spoken subjectively in quiet confidence will always awaken in a corresponding state into the one of whom it was spoken. So what that means is when you intend it in your mind, it'll always awaken that state in the other person. But the moment the task is accomplished, it ceases to be, permitting the one in whom the state was realized to remain in the consciousness of the state affirmed or return to his former state. So there's always going to be a time where, you're going to say, okay, look, I intend for Gerry to be nice. Okay. But then when you revert back to your old state, he's going to revert back to the state of not being nice. Okay. And then when you say it again, and then he's nice again. Okay. But then he goes back, but then you got to say it again. And eventually when you say it enough and it becomes a belief where you forget that he could even be mean to you, that's when he stays in the new state. Okay. So if you can revert back to thinking he was mean to you, then he's always going to have the possibility of being mean. Okay. So it's when you forget the old story that they fully shift into the new story. Okay. Does that make sense? Sorry, sort of read on the spot here, out of here. Okay. So everyone as you pushed out means your thoughts transmit to other people. Okay. And you control everything in your reality, whether it be with general beliefs, general thoughts, just like obviously one belief we have is that the world's here and there's other people on the earth and they all have lives. Okay. So there you go. You just animated 7 billion people. Now, when you meet people, now you start to animate them specifically. Okay. I intend that explanation was good. Okay. So let's take a look here. Let's see. Oh, what was I reading from? Yes, sorry. Let me tell you guys. I was reading from the Prayer, The Art of Believing, chapter 4 or 5, Thought Transmission. Let me tell you. It was chapter 4. No, sorry. Not that one. No, sorry. Where was it now? It was, here it is. Sorry. I got lots of bookmarks in here, guys. It was chapter 5, The Law of Thought Transmission, in the book Prayer, The Art of Believing. Excellent book. It's all proven in quantum physics now too, which is great. So, but I like Neville. I mean, I used to be very religious when I was younger. I used to go to church. Well, I wouldn't say very religious, but I used to go to church. I was brought up in a religious sort of, and I knew the power of everything, right? And and I like the way Neville brings it together, right? So, yeah. So let's take a look here. So we've got Patricia's question next. So 48 minutes. But I also love science and quantum physics. I love the way it explains it because you know what? If this wasn't based in real science, honestly, I wouldn't be here doing it. I won the science trophy when I was in school because I like science, okay? I'm a very scientific person, okay? I want facts. There's just the facts, please. And, once this became, based in science and they started to find, quantum physics that explained it, I was really excited. And that's really what helped me to go, no, you know what? This is real. This is based in science. Okay? Einstein knew this stuff. My favorite quote is, You can't change, you can't fix your problems with the same level of consciousness that created them. Even Einstein said you have to change your thinking to change what's going on. So amazing, amazing. So we've got Patricia's question. Amanda, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing actually really good. Thank you. I hope you are too, Patricia. So I need some help understanding everyone is you pushed out. I've heard LOA teachers say, if you want to be seen as the most important thing in somebody else's life, you need to see yourself as the most important thing in your life. Okay, no, you don't. I can see, I can be like, look, you know what, I'm no good, but everyone loves me, and then everyone's going to love you. Like, you know, you don't have to. Your story about you and your story about the other person are two different things, unless you say they don't like me because I'm not good enough. Okay, now you've just intertwined them. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? So, and that a relationship is a circle, and if your half isn't full, then the world's a mirror, then then the person isn't full either. No, that's not true. This isn't true, right? No, it's not. It's not. You can say, look, you know what, like, I'm the worst person in the world. I don't even know why they love you, but they do. Like, I mean, I've got a guy that is like forever chasing me, and I have no interest in being with him. Like, I'm everything to him, right? You can create whatever you want. You can create. I've always created, I'm amazing, but then, you know, and I create the story that other people didn't want a commitment because they had baggage. Look, I was perfect though, you know. So it's a story, and you know, of course, you know, like I said, right? If you say, well, you know, they don't want to be with me because I'm not good enough. Well, then now you're making who you are mean that they don't want to be with you. But you can easily say, you know what, I'm perfect, but they don't love me, or they love me, and you know, and change the story about you and be independent, right? So if you believe the person sees me as the most important person and goes out of his way for me, and I believe I can have this, then that's how it's going to manifest for me, right? Yeah, as long as you got no story that blocks it. It's not a mirror of who we are. It's a mirror of what we think. Yes, you know what, Patricia, go back about 10 minutes in here in the video right now, because I've just finished explaining all of this. So 100% right. Okay. That's why we don't have to be perfect to get what we want. Exactly. But you're already perfect. You're already perfect. Even not being perfect is being perfect, because you're God. And whoever you want to be is who you want to be. What is even perfect? You know, I'm happy with who I am, how I look. I think I'm amazing. Okay, now that may not be, you know, somebody else's. They're like, Amanda, I don't want to be you. I'd rather be me, you know. Fine, okay, you know, be you, right? You get to choose what perfect is, what perfection is, right? But just start saying right now, I'm perfect. Or start saying people love me no matter what, you know? So you just need to change your thoughts. Yep, that's it. I mean, I can respect myself, but still create people not to respect me. Yes, that's true. Yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly it. We've got, make sure I didn't miss anyone's question here. I know I've been jumping around on questions a little bit. Vanessa's question. So at 53 minutes here. Yeah, let's take a look here. Oh. All right. So I saw somebody, but I just blocked that, whatever that was. I don't even know. Oh my goodness. 50. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Let's take a look here. So we've got at, sorry guys, I was just removing the troll. Yeah, sorry, he's been on there for a while, or I don't even know, but it's gone now, blocked now, no more going forward. Sorry about that. I'm going to get somebody to moderate these when I do them, because when I'm answering these questions, it's hard to moderate the comments. So I'm very sorry, you know, that somebody was on there thinking that's fun and doing that. So anyway, let's move about. We'll fix it going forward. So Vanessa, how can I get my specific person to think I'm the most beautiful, sexy woman to him? You start saying that that's what he thinks about you, because everyone is you pushed out, right? I'd really like to manifest more words of affirmations regarding how much he loves me and how beautiful I am and special I am. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. So you just start focusing on what you want, and you make sure that all of your story and your thoughts are clear blocks, right? And yeah, it's enough to say, look at, you know what, I intend to have this. I intend, right? And when you do that, okay, and there's no blocks and resistance, it'll just show up, okay? If things aren't showing up, then there's going to be other stories that are blocking it, right? And, like I've mentioned before, your thoughts create. So in order for me to find out what your blocks is and why this isn't happening, we need to sit down and have a conversation, because your thoughts create your reality, okay? So the other way that you can find your blocks is sit down and write down your whole entire story, your whole complaints about the person, okay? Why you don't think he's saying this to you, okay? And then you take those and you make them into positive intentions one by one, and you throw out that old list and you read those new intentions, and you can even create a mantra out of those new intentions, okay? So I would go with that there. So Courtney says, let's take a look here. Yeah, okay. So Courtney's got a question here. Let's take a look. So 56 minutes. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. So you've added. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Courtney. Let me take a look here. Okay, so Courtney, so what did I say? 56 minutes? Let me just mark this at 56 minutes so I don't forget. Gotta make sure I do that. If I don't do that, I'm not gonna feel complete. Right? Listen to the stories I'm creating. Okay, so hi Amanda. Any intentions on how to deal with anger after reacting to someone that has presented itself in your current reality? Yeah, no, I get it. You know what? I mean, sorry, my really yummy water. You know, I get it. I always take I'm not going to say that I've never gotten angry in my life. When I was younger, I was a really angry person. But that was because, I was just, creating so much stuff. And sometimes it takes sitting back and starting to shift the story. Like, I'm not going to say that I've never gotten angry now. I mean, there's been times that, I have been upset. But normally what I find when I'm upset is A, I'm forgetting everyone is you pushed out, and B, the other thing is I'm putting stuff on a pedestal that really doesn't need to be there. And I remember, earlier this year, I actually needed a surgery, right? And it was like last year, I was told by this doctor there's going to be a year wait list, and I just lost it. I was mad. I was like, I cannot, no, no, no. But that's because I was putting it on this big pedestal, like I couldn't have it. And then finally, you know what? I just was like, no, you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I kept working on my story. And then finally one day I said, you know what? No, I'm like, you know what? I had enough. I was like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen now. I said, I'm the God of my universe. And I created stereo. Somebody's going to call up, cancel. I'm going to, I was on a wait list. They're going to call me. And within 24 hours, that actually happened. And within 40 hours of that, I actually ended up getting my surgery. So, I mean, basically, right, it's about just, taking a deep breath and, starting to really focus on what you want. Your thoughts create your emotions, right? And if I think about how I can't have something that I want, or how somebody is doing something to upset me, it'll make me really angry. Like, for instance, if I'm like trying to get something done or whatever, and then, even Andrew offers up something and it upsets me because, and the only reason it will ever upset me is because I make it mean maybe he doesn't care, or I make it mean, something that is not good. But I mean, again, that's me making it mean something bad when really I created him saying that to begin with, right? And he probably didn't mean it the way that I'm, making it turn out to be, that's making me upset. So, basically taking a step back and looking at your situation. So I've been reacting to my situation all morning. I just got on the wait list for coaching with Denise. Okay. She's really good. She's really, really good. Make sure you put, you're on the wait list for any day, anytime. Very important. Okay. Everything seems to be getting out of hand quickly. No, I get it. So a coworker is causing problems between me and my SP. It's causing a lot of jealousy. This girl throws herself all over him at work. I've been saying intentions, like she respects my relationship, but it's still not showing up. I've seen improvements with him, but I've caused 2 fights with him today. And the last text he didn't even send me, it didn't even sound like him, almost like she had his phone. Coworker is very hateful to me at work and isn't there anymore. Okay. So we got to really take a look at the story with him as well. Let's start being thankful. Like I get, sometimes when we're in these moments when you're reacting, just keep on your intentions, like really keep on your intentions, and then, distract yourself if you have to, right? And let's get back to remembering that we're powerful, we're powerful. Take a deep breath. It's okay to react, right? It's just about how quick are you going to decide to pull yourself out of it, right? So you want to change the story about her as well as him. And I get it. I've been there, definitely been there, And as long as you keep focusing on what you want, you'll slowly feel, you can even use I feel good. I feel like he wants to be with me. I feel like he's reassuring me. I feel like she's completely gone. I feel like, she's, moved on. But you've got to change the story about her too, right? Why create someone in your reality, would do this to you because everyone's you pushed out, right? So, yeah, okay. Let's take a look here. I know everything is going to be good. I intend that you're going to feel better, especially everyone you pushed out. Like, start creating some of that now. It's really good. That's what helps me. It could be the smallest little things, that really kind of pull me out of it. It's like I could be freaking out about like something I think is really big at the time, right? And then all of a sudden Andrew will say something that reminds me everyone is me pushed out. And I'm like, yeah, of course, right? And I'm like, I'm good. Actually, if you guys see in my videos, there's like a board behind me here in my office / guest bedroom. And what that is it's everything I've manifested. So I just take everything I thought that was hard. So I take a look at it and I'm like, wow. And and Neville says in these times to be happy and grateful and thankful for things to get yourself back into that mindset. So I find playing video games and watching funny movies as a distraction. So I also find distraction works, when I'm reacting. Make sure though the last thought that you have is on an intention. Okay. So we're at the 1 hour mark. 1 hour. Answered your question. We've got Kim's question. Oh my God, I love the video with you and Denise. I also decided to do a session with Megan, and you're right. Getting coaching on your situation completely helped. Oh, you're welcome. It does totally help. Curious, how do you select a new version of your specific person? What is your option or opinion of feminine energy? Think us women need to attract a male specific person, or is all that feminine, masculine energy limiting beliefs? Okay, so I'm going to tackle this in a few different ways. First of all, I don't believe in this feminine male energy. I don't create that in my reality. I'm a very simple person. Everyone is me pushed out. My thoughts transmit. Life is fine. Okay, that's what I think. Now, is this masculine feminine thing, is it a limiting belief? Well, it depends, right? Is it blocking you from getting what you want? Okay. So things can be either, a good belief or a limiting belief. I mean, if you want to have that belief, it's your reality. You can create that belief. Now, does the belief stop you from getting what you want? Then if the answer is yes, then it's going to be a limiting belief. Okay. So for instance, right, let's say we got Gerry here and Gerry doesn't like me. Okay. And he never wants to talk to me again. And if I say, well, it doesn't matter, I don't like Gerry either, then boom, that's not a limiting belief that he never wants to talk to me again and doesn't like me. However, if I say, I want Gerry to be with me and to forgive me and to get back in a relationship with me, but all of a sudden, the saying that he never wants to talk to me again and he hates me, that's now a limiting belief. Okay. So limiting beliefs are only limiting in the context of what you want. Okay. So do I create and know anything about this feminine masculine energy? Absolutely not. Is it a limiting belief? I don't know. Does it help you get what you want, or does it stop you from getting what you want? Right? Use your reality. You can create whatever beliefs you want to work within. If you want to create those rules, and you create those rules. That's something that's shown up in your reality. It's somewhere along the lines you've created it for whatever reason. So, now, how do you select a new version of your specific person? Okay, is you start creating and focusing and intending that they are that person. Okay, so if you want to go back in this video about 30 minutes to basically, it would be around the 40-minute mark of this video, I actually talked about how you actually transmit your thoughts. So you would start having mental conversations of the person as if they were the new person that you want. Okay. So basically, right, let's say, how do I select a new version of Gerry? Okay. So let's say Gerry's always late. Okay. And then, okay, let's say he's supposed to pick me up at noon and it's now 11:30. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, Gerry's probably going to be late. He's always going to be late. In that moment, I just selected the version of Gerry that's late. But if I wanted a new version of him, I'd be like, oh, it's 11:30. Of course he's going to be here on time. He always goes out of his way to be on time. In fact, he's always early. Boom, I've just selected the new version of Gerry. Sometimes you need to reselect the new version of Gerry persistently and repeatedly for it to show up, but that's how you select a new version with your thoughts. Okay. Excellent question, Kim. And yes, guys, you know what? The coaching really, really does help. I can't stress enough that, I love your questions here, but I can't give advice or coaching or find your blocks because we need to have a conversation because your thoughts create your reality. And, our coaches are amazing. Actually, somebody just told me not that long ago that, they're good at this. They know intentions, they know creating. But one thing that they didn't even notice they had a block on was giving, people free will in their reality. And they did coaching with one of our coaches and was like, wow, I did not realize I was doing that. The coach helped me to see that because we're going to see that for you. We're going to be like, whoa, you know what? We see this. You're giving them away. We'll be able to see what your blocks are. And when you know what your blocks are, then you know what, how to avoid them, because I honestly don't think that any one of you guys would keep creating something you didn't want if you knew how you were creating it. Right. So, we're here to help you find that. But I can't do it in these in this forum. It's got to be with the coaching because we got to sit down and find out what your thoughts are, because your thoughts is what's creating your reality. And we need to know what those thoughts are, and we need to help you find them, to identify them, to change them. And yeah, our coaches do that. They're absolutely, absolutely amazing. Like seriously, they are just amazing. I can't stress enough how amazing they are. And we hear it all the time. In fact, when I was sitting on this video, somebody was like, the coaching's amazing. I'm like, I know, right? Hey, we've got it figured out. We know what we're doing. SK says, hi, Amanda. Your answer to my question on the law of assumption last week was so helpful. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad. I intend that all of these questions I ask are helpful, that they do help. So my question this week, what should my self-talk be like during the time I am awaiting for my manifestation to appear? Do I keep assuming that I already have what I want? Do I continue to repeat my intentions and affirmations? If I understand Neville's teaching correctly, we are just continuing to impress our thoughts on our subconscious mind to project in our 3D reality. So how long that takes when the manifestation, so how long that takes is when the manifestation will appear. Is that correct? Well, things can appear immediately, right? And you kind of get to know yourself. Okay. So basically, I know that when I start creating intentions, like, they show up sometimes immediately. They can take up to like a day or two, maybe sometimes 2 weeks, but it really depends what it is, right? Like, if I'm intending to go to Italy, let's be honest, right? With everything that's going on in the world, and I haven't actually seen an airplane like in the sky in a little while. So I don't see a lot of those flying by. So like in my mind, I'm probably not making it to Italy in the next day or two. Right? So, it really depends what it is. But rule of thumb when it comes sort of to relationships and stuff, if you've got zero blocks, people can shift pretty much immediately. I'll give myself I'll personally, I know me, so I'll give me, I don't know, about 2 weeks, right? And so I'll continue my affirmations, right? And I'll be like, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then I'm like, it hasn't happened yet. I'll just reaffirm my affirmation. I'll say, no, I know my thoughts create, it's going to happen. Okay, so I don't question, I don't do anything like that, right? Because all that kind of stuff is blocks, right? But really, and then basically when I get to like the 2 week mark of something not showing up, that I know generally will show up within, a few days, then I'll start going, okay, maybe I need to sit down and kind of rethink my little story that I've got about this here. And what I'll do is I'll dump out all my thoughts, my complaints, and I'll change them into positive intentions. Okay. And I'll just refocus and get serious, because I know after about, 2 weeks of me, 2 weeks of me actually affirming something and creating, if it's not happening, I know that I've got a story somewhere that I'm missing. Okay. So it really depends on you. It's not like forever. Like things, with people can appear immediately. So, I would say about, 2 weeks of, if you keep reaffirming and something's not showing up in 2 weeks, you want to maybe start to see if, there's another story that you've missed. there's some thoughts that are getting by that maybe haven't been, basically done yet. But I mean, keep keep reaffirming that if you listen close enough to yourself, you'll hear whatever story that you may have, right? So, you know, yeah, but basically, I mean, the gist is, yeah, keep assuming and reaffirming of what you have, and sometimes you may want to dump out any sort of previous story that you have or past history reflection. Make sure that you've revised it all as well, right? Because like I said, it's the whole story's got to shift. Okay. So Manali's question: 1 minute and 1 hour, 1 hour and 10. Is it 10 minutes? Was it 1 hour 10 minutes? It's 1 hour 10 minutes. What have we been doing all afternoon, guys? Okay, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Let me see here. Oh boy, what did I do? I lost it now. I lost it. Where did it go? There it is. 1 hour and 10 minutes. 1 hour, 10 minutes. Oh. Anyway, this was 1 hour. 1 hour. I believe so. Around there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Because I think I commented on the other one. Oh boy. Yeah, maybe. Oh, I did already. Never mind. Okay. Let's just continue on. 1 hour, 11 minutes now. Oh, Patreon, you're not posting my replies. It's confusing me. I got this now. Hi, Amanda. You and Denise are helping me a lot for my manifestation to come true. Amazing. I know Denise is amazing. Megan's amazing. Travis is amazing. Erica is amazing. Connie is amazing. We've got a new coach coming out, Reen. She's absolutely, absolutely amazing. Yeah, yeah, you guys are all amazing. Every single one of you guys on the team is absolutely amazing. Yeah, so all of the coaches are, but let's go to your question. Any suggestions for letting go and detaching in the situation? I'm having a hard time letting go and detaching. Also, while affirming again and again, what shall we do if we get desperate? Okay. And what should be done when you slip into low vibration and feel like it's not going to happen? I get so exhausted that even intentions send not to work. Okay. So, I mean, the thing is, right, is again, letting go, is about letting go of the negative story. It's about letting go of, how you let go is through intentions. Okay. So if I think, oh, you know what, this isn't going to happen. Okay. That's the story we want to let go of. So as soon as I say, no, this is going to happen, I've now just let go of that old story. Okay. So we've got to persistently assume that this is going to happen. Now, the other thing is detaching. So detaching is going to be that, if you're attached to something, and I've explained this earlier in the video. So attachment is needing something to feel good about yourself, needing something, you're emotionally attached to it. Like, okay, that's it. You know what? My life isn't going to be good until me and Gerry are together. Like, I'm miserable until me and Gerry are together. That's total attachment to him. Now, if I say, no, you know what? I'm happy and grateful for what I've got right now in my life. And, Gerry is just going to come and enhance it. Now, you've now successfully detached from your situation. So how do you detach from a situation? Because you start being happy, grateful, and thankful. Okay. So when you're feeling all this low vibration, like it's not going to happen, you know what? Start being thankful for what you have in your life right now, because everything you have in your life right now is a manifestation. This isn't something that you turn on and turn off. It's something that's constantly happening. Okay. So take a look around right now. Even if things suck, say, look, and I'm happy they're this way because I've created them. If I can create it like this, then I can actually create it to be different. The other thing that I'm just going to throw out here, and I don't know what's in me to say this, but I just have this feeling is, and I've seen this before, is, and I don't ever want to tell you guys how to live your life, but sometimes, if, there's, if people drink or, party and, and I mean, I'm not going to, I drink, that's fine. But when we want to make major changes in our life emotionally, sometimes cutting back on those things help, because Our thinking is a habit and it's a pattern. Okay. And okay, I'm guilty of this. Okay. Like I get into this, like, you know what, F the world sort of like state once in a while if I drink too much. And Andrew's the first one to say, Amanda, I think you should stop. That's me, right? Or I get into this I don't care mode, right? Like either way, but what it shows is that our thinking's a habit. And when we're under the influence of some things, sometimes it can be harder to discipline our thoughts. And then, I've had those nights where, I go completely crazy. And then the next day, I wake up and so many things manifested that I'm like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? And I feel like nothing is corresponding with my thoughts. That's because all of that was created from a state of consciousness that I don't remember. So anytime I've honestly made any big change in my life that I've had to make, and be control over my emotions and be control over my thoughts, I've always stepped back from, indulging in the wine or anything like that because, it was like, okay, look at, what I like, get focused, dedicated, and make this change now. And, basically make my new thought pattern a habit. And then sure, I can go out and enjoy that again. Okay. So and there's been many clients in the past that I've had that, they weren't getting any results. And then as soon as they decided, what, I'm just going to, be healthy for a few months and all of a sudden, boom, started seeing a complete shift immediately because now they weren't having those times of consciousness where we're not thinking about our thoughts and, and going and not being, we're just, it's easier to go down those roads, when we're under the influence of things. Right. So, I mean, so maybe, that might be sometimes a factor. I'm not sure if it is in your case or anybody else's case, but I just felt the need to share that because I just take a step back and I say, okay, look, I'm just going to, this is really important to me. I really want to focus on this, especially when emotions are involved, because like, even what Neville says is, being in control of your emotions here is the name of the game, like 100% a name of the game. How are your emotions created? Your emotions are created by your thoughts. Your emotions are a manifestation of your thoughts. If I start thinking, that Gerry doesn't like me and that, nothing's going to work out for me, I'm going to start feeling, actually, I already started feeling a pit in my stomach and Gerry's a teddy bear. Okay. Oh my goodness. Like, oh, I started to feel that. So, we want to start getting on top of our thoughts and we want to start shifting that. So, let's start saying some things that are going to take this off of a pedestal. Okay. You don't need to be desperate. All you need to do is to say, look, I always get what I want and I am going to get this because I'm good enough. He wants to be around me. He wants to be with me. Okay. So let's start shifting that. Okay. Let's start shifting that and let's take care of ourselves as well. So that way, we can, have those times we're in control of our emotions and we're in control of our reactions. I mean, I'll be honest, like, when I was younger, all of the fights in my relationship stemmed from my drinking and my partying, I mean, of course, when, you get older or you get into a relationship where and you have that trust with them, you don't have, because it wasn't the alcohol or any of the partying that started the fights, but it was the thought and not controlling the thought process that did, right? So, and of course, whether we drink or not, we can always go down those roads, but sometimes it's easier to go down those roads after, a martini or two, right? So, I mean, just take a look that we are, taking care of ourselves in every other way. That way, we can support ourselves in our thoughts and our emotions throughout it. But let's start being, happy and grateful of things that are showing up and doing some more, affirmations of how you deserve it, how he wants to be with you, how everybody wants to be around you, how you feel like, that you're the queen, and really start putting some thought into that to shift it. Okay. Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you. You guys are all amazing. It's so amazing to be able to do this and to be able to help you guys and to hear your success stories. Like they are amazing. You guys are all absolutely amazing. And we all want you guys to be happy. We want everybody in the world to be happy because you know what? Why not? There's an abundance. You can all be rich. You can all be happy. There's a Gerry for everybody. If you want, why not? Anyways, guys, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.